Hello and welcome to Mission Nonprofit. I'm your host, Robert Cam. On Mission Nonprofit, we feature a local nonprofit organization from Thurston County, and this month we have PFLAG Olympia. And with me to talk about PFLAG is Courtney, Robert, and Hillary. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Tell us what PFLAG stands for.
PFLAG stands for Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, and it's now much broader than that, but our chapter is celebrating its 20th anniversary this month, actually, in November. So we support, educate, advocate for parents and friends of lesbians and gays and the queer community at large, and we also have education programs, and it's just a wonderful organization.
And so this is PFLAG Olympia, but there is a bigger PFLAG.
There is a bigger PFLAG.
There's different PFLAGs. Isn't there a regional one and a national one as well?
The regional one, I think, is made up of local ones. And correct me if I'm wrong, Hillary, but the national one, do you want to tell how the national one got started?
The national was started, originally it was the idea of Jean Manford in 1972, who walked in a gay pride parade in New York with her son Morty, who was openly gay. And Morty had been attacked, and he had been through lots of bullying, and she decided to make a sign that said that she loved her gay son. And she came up with PFLAG because so many people had been coming to her saying, can you talk to our parents? We want to learn how to come out. We want our parents to accept us. So she created PFLAG, where parents can come and talk about their children and how they can learn how to support them. So in 1973, I think, was when the first PFLAG meeting took place, and there's about 20 people that showed up. And over the years, it got more traction, and they started having more chapters around the country. And in 1998, we added transgender people into PFLAG. It was mostly to talk about your gay and lesbian children, and then they started to add transgender people.
We might need to explain that for the audience about what transgender is, what queer is. I think everybody knows what gay and lesbian is, but we might need to explain that. But first, you talked about it starting in '72. Where was that? Where did it get started?
New York.
New York, okay.
It was home base for quite a few years.
And is that still home base, or is it?
Probably one of their most original chapters are there.
Well, let's go on and cover what is all the different, labels. So we've got gay, lesbian, queer, transgender. Help me out. There are more?
Want to do the alphabet one?
Okay, yes. Robert might know this.
LGBTQIA, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, questioning, queer, intersex, asexual. We all kind of know what lesbian, gays, and bisexuals are. Transgender kind of is someone who just doesn't really conform or conform to like their assigned sex at birth. There's many things in that. Questioning, people who are questioning whether they're trans or gay or lesbian. Queer, a lot of people are a little uncomfortable with the word. A lot of people are trying to take it back and make it a good word instead of something that's hateful.
Word. Or a negative word that we use, that other people would use.
And then asexual, that's someone who doesn't really feel attractive to anyone, not attractive, doesn't have attracted to anyone, doesn't have attraction to people.
And you listed those all out in a long kind of name. What could you say it again?
LGBTQIA.
Thank you.
And I think one thing that is different for people of, say, my parents' generation and even mine until recently when my son came out is gender identity versus sexual orientation. I think a lot of people, well, you're gay or you're not. Well, that's your sexual orientation. That's who you're attracted to. Correct? But gender identity is how you identify as a man, as a woman. We go through our meeting every month and we say, well, what pronoun do you prefer? Well, everybody would think, well, she's she and he's he, but that's not necessarily true. You might see someone, you're like, well, are they a man or a woman? And they say, well, I like to be identified as they. And that's really hard for, or Z is another pronoun. Z is, but most people, you too, she, he, or they. So it's an educational process. And I know when I had to tell my parents that their granddaughter was really their grandson, and that was really hard for them to get their head around that transition and why and what's happened. And but they've come a long way, and they don't live in this state, but I've encouraged them to go to PFLAG in Oklahoma, where they're from. But PFLAG's been really good for me personally, because it's a journey for everybody when somebody you love comes out, I think, or when you come out. And so finding other people and realizing, oh, you're not alone. I'm not alone. There's other people who've been through what I'm going through, and we're all going to get through this together. I think that's kind of the heart of PFLAG for me.
So you got into PFLAG as a parent.
As a
so
parent,
you were
yep.
a P of the
I was a
of
P,
the
yep.
PFLAG. And tell us about how you get involved. Your son came out, or
My son, yeah, he
came
is
out
my
and-
son, and he came out when he's about 14. And I remember my first PFLAG meeting. I think I talked to Gabby and Alec Clayton, are really two names in the community that people connect with PFLAG. They were president and co-president partner for a long time, and they finally have stepped down off the board to do other things. I don't know, Hillary, do you want to tell their story a little bit? Because I think it's really important to tell how they got involved.
Alec and Gabby have two sons, Noel, who's older, and Bill. And Bill came out as bisexual as a teenager. And he was scared that his parents might not accept him. And his mother, Gabby, told him that his father is also bisexual. And they were accepting, and they loved him, and he knew that. And unfortunately, he was attacked on the grounds of Olympia High School. And
This was years ago.
yeah, this I think was 1995. And so the local LGBT community rallied for Bill and met at Sylvester Park and had a hate crime rally to get people to know what happened. And Alec tried to speak, but he was so overcome with emotions that he could not speak. As he came down, a man named Paul Beeman talked to him and said he was from PFLAG, and he would like Alec to come and talk at their Father's Day meeting. So Alec agreed, even though he had not been able to speak up at that rally, but he said, okay. And unfortunately, about a month or so later, their son Bill committed suicide. And he was, I think, 17 years old. So overcome with grief, Alec and Gabby went to their very first PFLAG meeting, and Alec spoke about their son and what happened to their family. And they were met with so many warm welcomes and people who rallied behind them that they never left. They stayed with PFLAG. And they became almost the poster people for PFLAG. It just took that unfortunately very sad thing to happen, and they became advocates for the community. And later they eventually became presidents, and Alec is, I think, our longest running president. He ran for over 10 years.
And who's the president now? Is that you, Courtney?
Yep.
You are the president.
I am
okay.
the president,
Good.
and I could tell that Alec and Gabby needed some time. I mean, they'd been doing it for a long
So
time,
they've
and so I
taken
was
some time off.
these guys are veteran board members, but they have school and college and things, and I have work, but I just felt really strongly about what PFLAG stands for, and it's been wonderful to work together. We have a lot of fun. We have garage sale and craft fair, and we're going to have a concert in January, and so it's like another family. I mean, it's been really a wonderful program to step up and help lead, and I'm learning all the time, and it's just wonderful learning people's different stories and what brought them to PFLAG.
And so if people are out there and they're watching this and they're like, oh, my brother's gay, or, my son or my daughter, or, or they are themselves,
Right.
and they just needed to come and talk to people. You guys have meetings once a month.
We do.
And where are those at, and what time, and, how do they get involved?
You want to talk about our meetings?
It's the second Sunday of every month. We meet at the United Methodist Church on Legion, on the east side of Olympia, right?
2 o'clock, yep.
At 2 o'clock, and usually 2 hours. First hour is usually welcome, support, and then we go into a program usually around 3 for about an hour, and then
Describe some of the programs.
a few programs. Sometimes we show movies like Trans, or what was another one we showed? I can't remember.
Well, they made a movie. Remember the movie that you all made?
We
Montage.
Another board member and I created a little montage video of LGBT characters from the media. We gathered clips from YouTube and strung them together just to kind of show positive. We wanted to do something that showed that gay and lesbian characters, transgender, bisexual, that were being shown more positive as the years have gone by, instead of more of the negative, because there's so much negativity out there. This was about hope. So that was kind of a fun, creative thing that we did.
One of my favorites that I helped organize, I kind of ran the organization of it, was September, was the Candidates Forum, and it was one of our most successful in our PFLAG of Olympia chapter. We had about 17 or 18 candidates come from all over Thurston County. It was very successful. This month is our 20-year anniversary. And we'll, same place, 2 to 4.
Yeah. So that's what is on the agenda is the
Just the
20th
party, yep.
The
We're going
party.
to celebrate
Okay,
20
good.
years. We've got cupcakes, and we're going to read some letters from some of our older members that helped start PFLAG. And anybody who's ever come to a PFLAG meeting, even if they don't come anymore, we're hoping that they come to this meeting.
You know, and you were talking about that video that you guys made. That was part of the meeting. It was
One of our meetings.
One
yeah.
of our
the meetings?
programs.
Yeah, with the program, right? Okay. And why aren't we airing that on TCTV? You know, we have a channel here. We have 4 of them. We should
don't
send
know.
it on.
We could.
PFLAG could be an organizational member, and you can sponsor that program. We can put it on air. So think
We
about
will
that.
Look into that.
Yes.
Yes. We've also had an admiral speak from the Army, and right? Where's he from?
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, talk about DOMA and the Defense of Marriage Act and what that means to gay and lesbian members of the military. We had a professor from South Puget Sound come talk about sexual and gender diversity. So we really try to combine that support group with the education group. And I think the one thing we want to do more of, which we did with gay marriage equality, is advocacy. So going to the legislature and school districts and talking about safe schools and bullying legislation and gay marriage and things like that. So that's kind of the third leg of the stool, is the advocacy. Yeah.
Let's talk about the gay marriage, and that was referendums 74. And so you guys couldn't officially endorse it, but tell me how that went.
Well, Governor Gregoire signed the marriage equality bill in February of 2012, right? We had a meeting less than 24 hours before she actually signed the bill, and we had some people come and talk about a handful of representation, LGBT people talking about how to volunteer and phone bank, because we knew once she signed the bill that more than likely marriage equality was going to be on the November ballot. So we were trying to get a heads up on what we're going to be preparing ourselves for in the later months. So that talk was actually very well attended. People were getting some questions answered as far as where can we go to volunteer and talk about Referendum 74. So after she signed it, it was law, and we couldn't officially start getting married yet. That's why we had to wait, I think it was 3 months. But that gave the other side enough time to get signatures to get it onto the ballot. So Referendum 74 was all over the news, and basically all we were talking about, our community was talking about, how are we going to get Ref 74 passed. So on Washington United for Marriage, they were really the forefront. They set up a station in downtown Olympia where you can volunteer there, go door to door, talk about Ref 74. You could phone bank from their office, you can phone bank from your house. And at PFLAG, we had a few people who were out there doing that, and they would report back saying we need to raise more money, we need more people out there on the streets. So we couldn't, like you said, endorse, but we were still very active. And it passed, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Some of our members have gotten married now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I haven't been to any weddings, but maybe you have.
I've been to a couple.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you two get involved with PFLAG? Or, you know, what started it?
I came out to my mom in October, about 2 years ago. At first, she'd always said she was very supportive of me, but she was having a hard time with it. She was worried about me. She was going through a stage of, did I do this? Did I cause it? Many parents do that. But she found PFLAG online. She went to a meeting, and it really, really helped her out. Gabby and Alec, she went over to their house a few times. They were very helpful. My dad came home from Afghanistan like 2 months later. We were sitting at dinner and she's like, "Robert's gay," and outed me to him. It was kind of, I was a little mad, but I was glad it happened.
There you go. Pull the Band-Aid off. Get it
Yeah. Both of my parents are extremely supportive. My dad's on the board.
Nice.
Mom comes home from Korea tomorrow.
Yay.
Gonna probably be on the board too. They've very supportive. They've been there for. My dad always says PFLAG was there for our family when he couldn't be, and it's a very welcoming area, very welcoming people. My mom dragged me to a meeting, and a couple months later, Alec and Gabby convinced me to go on the board, and then not even a month later, me and Courtney, she decided to be the president, and I decided to be the vice president, and it was pretty fun. We're a very good board, very good team. We all have a lot of fun, and it's just a lot of fun at PFLAG.
Good.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about you, Hillary?
I came out to my mother and my stepfather when I was 20, and they're both very accepting. My mother was just a little bit nervous, I think, for my future, and worried about how life might be a little bit harder. My stepdad, I think he knew that I was gay, so it was like no big deal at all. So I dragged my stepdad with me to my very first meeting, and I didn't say anything. I think I was just really scared, and I probably looked quite terrified, and it's like, what do I do? What do I do? It took a few months, and then I warmed up to people. I started talking some more, and the people there, they really helped me to start coming out to more family and more friends and be more comfortable in my own skin. And once I felt great and life was going well, I stopped going to PFLAG for a few years, and then in about late 2010 I came back just because I missed the people, and I just want to say hi and kind of check in, and I just didn't leave. I kept coming back, and then I joined the board. And a year after I joined the board, my mom and my stepdad joined, and
nice.
my father is now our treasurer.
Oh.
So it's nice that we had kind of a family thing with the two of us especially. And I think we're very lucky that we have such accepting parents, and they're not just supportive, but they're being really proactive for not just their children, but for the community. So
Yeah, I was going to ask, do they still go? Do they still go to the meetings and stuff? Good.
They're big advocates.
Yes.
They're the
Nice.
They're the advocates, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys do other things like during Pride, you said you had a booth.
We had a booth, we
And-
marched.
And you
We
marched,
sell
like you have a
little
section?
well, we take donations for little buttons and things. So,
And so you probably have to raise money for your operating costs and stuff like that.
we do.
So,
They're not huge operating costs. A few years ago, I don't know exactly when, an offshoot of PFLAG was Pizza Clutch, which is a youth group that is in all the schools now. I think we're getting at our last high school at Black Hills High School, and they're actually hosting a series of programs like this one to educate the Tumwater and bigger community about issues facing gays in the schools, out of the schools, those kind of things. So that's happening, and we just do a lot of fun stuff.
Pizza Clutch.
Yeah,
So Pizza Clutch, it's
with a K.
with a K, and it's a support group In the high
in
school?
the schools, yes. And they have pizza at lunch every week. They have outside facilitators not connected to the schools. There's somebody in the school who sort of oversees it, but it's really a place that their mission is anti-bullying,
Yeah.
place of acceptance. It's separate from, a lot of schools have GSA groups, which is Gay Straight Alliance.
Oh, yeah. I've heard
And then
of
the
those.
Pizza Clutch is more or less, let's come together and talk about relationship issues. Let's talk about this, and they'll have different speakers. Am I right? I've
Are
never
you
been
in
to a
high
Pizza
school
Clutch.
still?
I'm a junior.
Okay.
I've been going to Pizza Clutch for about 2 years. It's a very warm environment. It was kind of one of the reasons why I had the ability to finally come out to my mom. It's
You
there.
went there 1st. Okay.
It's once a week. For my school, it's on Tuesdays. We go in for about half-hour lunch. We have pizza. We do check-ins. Go around, say what's our high of the week, what's our good point of the week, and then what's our low, what's bad, depressing, or sad about our week. And then we could be like, do we want feedback? You know, like, do we want support, or do we just want to be there to have something to say? We have pizza. We used to do it after school.
The important thing is there's
That's
pizza.
the cost, is the pizza. so.
Okay.
We used to do it after school, but there was problems, and so they decided to do it during lunch.
All right.
And it's a lot more effective, and a lot of people go to it. This year, it's my junior year. I'm not as quiet about my sexuality anymore. I'm very out at school. And a lot of people are like, do you know about Pizza Clutch? And I'm like, I know about it. So a lot of people, I tell them I'm gay, and the next day, Pizza Clutch, I see them there, and they're like wanting to go to learn, to be there to learn how to support their
Your friends. That's great.
And it's a very good thing. So.
We're doing a fundraiser with them in January, so it'll be a PFLAG Pizza Clutch concert, and I think I sent you the poster for that, January
Yes.
25th. It's the Righteous Mothers and Steve Shacklin, this performer from New York, and that's going to be a joint fundraiser. And so there are expenses. We have memberships, but we have a mailing list of, I think, 250, but only 50 paying members, so it's not our main goal. Raising money helps to do some of the advocacy work and support groups like Stonewall Youth. That's another youth group for queer and gay youth. One thing that struck me when Robert was talking is there's a lot of support out there, but there's also kids who are rejected by their families. There's high numbers of homeless gay and queer youth because they don't have anywhere else to go. So that's still a challenge. I mean, we've come a long way, but that's a challenge for kids that don't have that support.
And yeah, so you have the fundraisers occasionally, and you have the monthly meeting.
Yep.
And so second Sunday,
Second Sunday.
2:00.
Yeah.
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 We have a
at,
hotline.
And a hotline. Why don't you give us the number? Do we have it written
I have
down?
to memorize
We'll put it down right here.
Okay.
There it is.
Where is it?
Oh, it's right there on the screen.
Okay.
We're all good.
Right there. Okay.
Thank you.
So call that number.
I need to
And-
memorize it though.
You do. Anyway, so high school students, they should look for Pizza Clutch if they have friends that are gay or lesbian or queer, gender bisexual.
There you go.
The list goes on. But so they should look for that in their school. And what school do you go to?
I go to North Thurston High over in Lacey.
So North Thurston's got it, and most of the other ones do. Do we know?
All of them,
All
I'm
of
pretty
them.
sure,
Okay.
have it
Good.
now, thanks to
Most of the ones,
maybe not in the rural.
yeah, only Lacey, Tumwater, and Olympia have them.
Right, I'm not sure Yelm, but I know they're working on getting one in Rainier and Rochester and things like that. So
So, with your advocacy section, what is the future of gay rights? What's the next thing? I mean, obviously, in other parts of the country, there's still a big hurdle to get. But here we're in Washington, we legalized gay marriage. What's next? What's next on the list of civil rights for gay and lesbian?
the two things I think, and they're not the everything that come to my mind, are the transgender rights, because it's so new to a lot of people. Being able to have gender-neutral bathrooms. You go to some restaurants in Olympia, and you can go to either one. So that's, at schools, that's a big issue now. Is where do I go to the bathroom? Which locker room do I use?
That's interesting.
So that's
We
one
don't think
issue.
about that.
Washington is ahead of the pack, I think, in that. In California, there's some states. Another one is healthcare rights. Being able to go to a hospital and being served, or having your partner in the room with you. So I think those are two issues that I think we still have and bullying in schools. I think again, we've come a long way. We're all glad we live in Washington, but there's other places where you would still not want to come out. So
Yeah. Well, I guess we can still
how
work
about you
on the
guys?
rest of the country.
A lot of people or friends I talk with here in Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater, a lot of people say that they feel welcomed at most of the schools, but the rural schools like Black Hills, Rochester, Yelm, those they don't feel as safe or welcomed. They're bullied. A lot of the schools in the cities are a little more welcoming, but the ones out in the rural areas aren't.
But new laws, I think, are changing that, where it's not going to be, you hear a lot on the news and YouTube of, oh, this kid got bullied, nothing happened, but the schools are being held accountable more and more, so hopefully that's going to change.
Good. I think we have to wrap it up
Okay.
for this episode of Mission Nonprofit, but you guys did great. Thanks for coming on. I just wanted to say your website again, well, I don't think I said it, but it's pflag-olympia.org. Right?
Correct.
pflag-olympia.org, and there's the hotline down there. So give them a call. Come to those Sunday meetings, second Sunday meetings, and and go to that website and check out more to learn more.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time on Mission Nonprofit. Thanks for watching. If you know of a local nonprofit that's making a difference in our community, give us a call at 956-3100 extension 103 or send an email to rkam@tctv.net.